Hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and welcome to another Kerbal Space Program video. And to recap, I kind of did this for my first interplanetary mission. I initially planned to go to Duna and Ike, but then I had a moment of since I have the minor planets expansion mod installed that adds in those smaller objects, like smaller planets. Like some of them are like really small, that are kind of in different places in the Kerbal solar system. I decided to actually kind of when I'm done going to Duna and Ike and getting science, I figured I might as well stop at a couple of those planets and get even more science. And I ended up having to send 2 rescue missions because I ended up running out of fuel twice, because I think one time I attempted to encounter with one object, but then I changed my mind. So and I also I forgot to quick save before that, so I kind of was just stuck with having wasted fuel trying to do that. So I encountered with one planet, and I actually had to do kind of a sketchy landing attempt where I basically landed the mothership, like the entire spaceship, like on the surface of that planet. But the gravity was low enough that that was actually possible. But then after that, I had no fuel left to do anything else or even return home. So I sent one refueling mission with another lander, and then I went off to the next minor planet, and then I actually got I think I landed on that one, I think 4 or 5 different times, and I got a lot of science from that as well. But then I ran out of fuel again, and so I just sent another ship to rescue my Kerbals and bring my science data home. And then I just brought them back to Kerbin. But I'm glad I did all that, because, well, look at all the science I now have. And just because that video kind of dragged on so long, or at least the footage did, that I made the decision to split it up into 4 different videos. So, and kind of just because it dragged on so long, I actually decided to put off the tech tree research until the next episode, which since we're in the next episode, it's now due. Well, I think I immediately know what the first thing I'm gonna unlock is. It's this, because getting into orbit was kind of a challenge, or we were kind of having issues with that in the last episode. At least with the size of rockets engines that we have available. Okay, most of this actually is more of the space-wise stuff. But some of these also are stock parts. And we'll gonna also go for this because it's gonna give us bigger fuel tanks. And since we have the science to spend, let's go for this to give us even bigger fuel tanks. Now this, if I didn't have, I'm pretty sure this, if I didn't have any mods installed, would give us like this gives us the, I think these are some of the biggest parts that you can have in the base game. And then this gives you the biggest parts if you have the, I believe it's the Making History DLC, which actually adds a new class of a new size of tanks or fuel tanks, like where without the DLC, the biggest diameter you can have is 3.75 meter. With the Making History DLC, you get access to even bigger ones, which are 5 meters in diameter. But because I have the Space Y mod installed, I have access to even bigger ones. Like this is a 7.5 meter diameter tank. Oh, and these are 10 meter diameter, which is just absolutely enormous. Seems a little interesting is apparently in here in the heavier lifters you already get the EMU engines, which I think are the most powerful lifters I have available to me in this modded game. But these aren't quite, it looks like these aren't quite as powerful as those. I guess we get these solid rocket boosters as well as these other fuel tanks. No, let's just get all of this, as I can afford it. Oh, this will give me better probe cores. I think this will be important. Oh, and this is for the better antennas. For longer range communication. And this is this is better electrical stuff. Oh, and this is gonna get us into into the reactors. So this might be important. Just kind of looking through all these, just decide how I want to spend my remaining science points. So I think we want to prioritize the propulsion technologies, and then maybe the electrical. So this is kind of some better nuclear engines. Well, the only one of these I really have personally used is this one, because it's actually a jet engine that can actually run in a non-oxygen atmosphere, like i.e. On Eve or Jewel, or like planets like that. Oh, this one, I'm not familiar with a lot of these, but this light bulb engine, I actually, in my kind of just in my own playing of this game, like when I've been actually posting screenshots of like what I've been doing, kind of in Kerbal Space Program, I actually, well, it's in the Skate Other Games channel. I've just been doing a lot of these different missions, just kind of on my own time, and kind of posting screenshots of them for those who want to see it. But I actually designed a lander that actually used these engines that also has the drills and the refinery on it, so I can basically... So it's basically, I ended up making a lander that can pretty much... I believe it can even do, like, planets, like, even up to Kerbin-sized. But, though, like, though it doesn't really do well in an atmosphere. like it doesn't really control that well, but like an object like Tylo, it actually handles pretty well. Oh, this is interesting. I think this might be part of another mod I have, but this is apparently another variant of it. Oh, this is another engine I ended up actually making use of in my own playing of kind of playing KSP, or at least this mod on my own. Think for now we'll stop here, but this requires me to research this, which requires me to go through these. Okay. I think with what's left, we'll, oh, this is reactors. Think we'll get this. Oh, this we're gonna need. So if we want to use that engine, we're gonna need this, which I guess I'll explain later when we get to using it. But okay, so for some of these later technologies we're gonna use, so I heard some of them actually require radiators to dissipate heat. So I guess I'll get a little bit of this. Not sure, feel like with the remaining science, let's get some more of these station parts. Ooh, this looks interesting. Oh, and this is the space plane stuff, which I haven't really been researching much of, but I guess with my remaining science, I guess I'll just get some of it. Might be able to afford these two. And then that's it for our science. Okay. So I guess now with that finally out of the way, I can now show you what maybe the plan is for what mission we're gonna do today. It's feel like today which would be maybe nice to take a bit of a break from at least the really large missions that are gonna take multiple videos. But it's because I discovered this. There's this asteroid that's actually bigger than so the one that so this is the one that I discovered while I was in the middle of that mission where I went to this planet and then this planet after visiting Duna. But then I discovered, actually before I started recording this, I discovered this asteroid that's even bigger than this one. And it's quite conveniently for me, it's already going to have a natural encounter with Kerbin. So well, this is a pretty big asteroid. It's a class G, which is pretty big. So I have no idea if we're even gonna be able to build a rocket that's powerful enough to get it into orbit around Kerbin, but I guess we can try. But if we can't, then I guess we'll go for a smaller one. And well, the whole reason to do this is so that you can have a space station that's in low Kerbin orbit for the purposes of refueling a mission before actually heading out to a further out destination. So I guess let's maybe at least give this a shot anyway at actually designing a rocket that can capture it. Well, I ended up not really talking much through the build process, so I'm just gonna be time-lapsing that, and first, now that's finished, I'll just explain what I built. So, it's kind of how this is gonna work is this is basically what's gonna lift it into orbit, and this part is going to actually move the asteroid. And then this part at the very front is what I'm actually going to leave on the asteroid when this is done. And then I'm just going to detach this. And I guess my plan is, well, whatever's left of this, I'm just going to dispose of. But as you may see later on in this video, I think I overbuilt this part of the rocket. And, so I decided just to kind of keep it in orbit and maybe use for a later mission. But anyway, this... Well, since I unlocked it, I decided I'm going to be making use of the nuclear saltwater engine. And... it's just kind of a crazy, concept for a rocket engine, at least as far as the future technology goes. And it's kind of basically, it works like by using like this mixture of like enriched uranium and heavy water that basically like explodes, like is in a nuclear detonation, like in a controlled fashion, which actually propels the rocket forward, which is insane, but it's true. And Scott Manley made a pretty good video explaining how these work, so I guess I might link that in my description if you want to hear more about how it works. But basically, these are added by the at least one of the mods for Interstellar Extended, and these are for holding like any nuclear materials. And of course, all of this I just have the nuclear salt water in, though. Though you actually don't have to. So with this engine, you can either just feed in nuclear salt water directly, or you can actually use, or you can just have, like, or you can just have, just enriched uranium and water like on your ship, and then just basically have the engine mix it together. And the nuclear saltwater engine also makes a lot of heat, so I have a lot of radiators on here as well. And actually, when I was playing around with this, turns out the radiators are actually kind of important, because I found whenever I go into time warp, basically this engine would just explode, basically leaving my craft useless. And then I'd have to load a quick save. But as far as this part of the rocket, it's really just I'm just making use of the new parts that I unlocked as part of the Space Y mod. Though with the largest diameter fuel tanks, the 10 diameter, it doesn't seem like there's an engine cluster available that actually works with them, or at least right out of the box. So what I did was I just scaled up using tweak scale this quad emu engine cluster. I just kind of scaled this up by 1, so it actually is the size of the 10 diameter fuel tank. And it turns out that these rockets are actually a little bit overkill for getting this into orbit, and it turns out this was actually a bit more rocket than I needed, but I guess it's better than it not being enough. And I also was gonna put one of the nuclear reactors on here for power, but I guess I don't really have I guess I don't really have everything. Either I don't have everything unlocked to use them yet, or I don't quite, at least the first one that I have unlocked, I don't quite know how to use. Because again, I'm basically brand new to this mod. Like, I played through it once. I played through KSP once with this mod, but there's still a lot that I'm learning about it. So basically, and I'm also making use of this inline drill. Well, it's part of the modular rocket systems mod. Well, it's because I have it available, I decided why not I use that. And well, my plan with this is, well, once this whole thing is connected to an asteroid, and the reason I have this docking port in between here is, well, I can detach this, and then later on I could attach another, basically I could build like a space station that has like maybe other, so I believe you could get other types of resources from these asteroids, so I might be wrong. And well, if that is the case, I'd like to be able to maybe attach other types of refineries to this and to extract the other types of resources. Oh, and another thing about before I get to the launch, I guess I forgot to explain about this, is unlike a lot of other future rocket technologies that basically trade thrust for specific impulse, like looking at you, ion thrusters, but anyway, unlike those, this gives you high specific impulse and high thrust. As you can see here, it's like 3,000 and here, despite 9,000 specific impulse. Which is actually the thrust of this is something like 2 of these engines. Like, it's like basically like 2 of these, which is kind of crazy. And with like a lot more ISP than the engine I was using in my previous mission. which was this one, I believe. Yeah, if you want to read that, you can pause the video. Yeah. I think this is done for the explanation, and now we can get to the launch. Okay. Looks like we're running into issues already. Okay, why is that happening? Why? Okay, I guess we're ready to launch now. I have no idea why that Kraken attack happened, but I'm just gonna go. It seems like apparently me taking the rocket apart, putting it back together, made that not happen again. So I guess we'll try this now. Spent entirely too long fixing that, but oh well. And I decided to kind of not include the reactor because of it's like it's just much as my concern is like how am I going to keep it fueled. I guess I'm just gonna have to. I guess for now I'll just use the solar panels, and I think these engines make power, but I guess we'll find out. Like then, so. It actually turns out I went a little bit overboard with the lift stage, so I guess we're actually gonna have to throttle down. And these engines actually are pretty very quiet for the amount of thrust they make. Okay. If that does not fix the noodle rocket issue, I don't know what is. Okay, we're now in orbit. And we'll just warp ahead until this asteroid encounters Kerbin. Okay, now that I've quick saved, I can now set this as my target, and now we're just gonna have to try to rendezvous with it. Oh, and I think now I can show you the nuclear saltwater rocket in action. And that's what it looks like. And what we're trying to do is raise our orbit just so it's easier. like change our inclination and do stuff like that. It's really actually proving difficult just to even line up a trajectory with this thing. Might have been easier to... At least now I sort of know where it's coming. I guess I can revert to my other quick save and then get into this kind of an orbit beforehand. Well, you know, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know, maybe it might be easier to just rendezvous with this thing in interplanetary space and then force it into a Kerbin encounter. We're just gonna leave Kerbin. And then just sets the asteroid as my target. It looks like we're even already gonna have an intersect. And the lower we can get that number, the better. Just whenever it gets to a point where I can't get the encounter any closer without serious fiddling, I just kind of be like, that's good enough. And then what we can do is just stop, like, come to a stop in relation to it, and then just burn towards it. Kind of like your standard docking procedure. Now we just go towards it. And there it is. Now we just have to attach to it. An arm or grabber. And, we're about to make contact. And boom. And then now we just basically just have to wait until we encounter Curvin, because it turns out I was able to rendezvous with this thing just about 8 days before it actually has its natural encounter with Curvin. It looks like a capture is going to be possible. And I guess it turns out so I was kind of doing math on like actually how much Delta V I'm actually going to need for this. And it turns out I actually may have overbuilt this thing a little bit. And I guess we'll now find out if we are actually going to be stable. And we're actually going to be pushing this asteroid. And so far, so good. I'm actually not going to time warp do physics time warp here, just because I really am not sure if this thing's going to destroy itself if I do. Although, I guess a feature of I think it's of the Interstellar Extended, we can actually we can actually like time warp, like do regular time warp with engines. And it looks like we are actually captured now. And I don't know why, but it just seems like even though I had the fuel lines, it's like it doesn't want to transfer fuel evenly. Or at least with this nuclear salt water. I'm really just trying to get the orbit of this asteroid actually low and flat. Well, it turns out this can at least handle 2 times time warp, physical time warp. Oh, I think now we're emptying the fuel tanks. I think we're starting to become a little less controllable. We're just trying to finalize this just to kind of get it as perfect as I can. Now we're just, all we need to do is just lower the orbit of this thing to a level that's like we could just send a rocket up to this thing and we can then like refuel from here. Okay, and with that, we have circularized our orbit around Kerbin, and we have captured a very large asteroid. And I thought my this ship was not going to be up to the task of capturing it, but it turns out I still have like 3,800 meters per second of delta V remaining, and that is with this giant asteroid attached. But I'm sure if we decouple this and just sort of merge down to just the ship, we're gonna still have probably something like 30,000 meters per second left. So I guess I'm going to detach this now. Oh no, don't you dare. Stupid Kraken, don't blow up my thing. Okay, apparently turning off SAS fixed that. But, yeah, so looks like... You know what I'm thinking? Maybe we might even be able to reuse this whole rocket probably for one of our next missions. You know, because I have so much Delta V left in this thing, why throw it away? I guess I'll just lower the orbit of this thing. Okay, so I guess I can leave this thing in orbit. And then there we have the asteroid that's in orbit. So, I guess thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, here with another Kerbal Space Program video. And if you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see my next videos, sure to hit the bell for notifications. Peace out. Bye.